This would be a good part right here to introduce. This is Dr. She's a 27-year-old doctor. Something this 50-year-old will never see. She's Dr. Canada Staley.
Uh-huh.
She's a doctorate of pharmaceutical pharmacy.
Uh-huh.
And she just graduated in May.
Correct.
With her second degree.
Mm-hmm.
Still working on mine.
That's okay.
Yeah, one day I'll finish.
You on your time.
But you're right. Right now I'm just being badass.
Yeah.
This is your She's a Badass podcast.
What is something that probably not even your mom knows? What is one thing about you that like nobody really knows? It's like you don't even care if the world knows.
Something that my mom doesn't know.
Because badass is being who you be. It's all about being who you are, and it doesn't matter.
Honestly, I feel like my mom knows everything about me.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So, but there was a time my freshman year in college, I did get in a fight.
Does she know?
She did, because I was about to call her if she was going to bail me out of jail.
Oh my gosh, I'm so surprised to hear this from the Reserve Canada.
Yes, absolutely.
So what happened? It was a roommate?
She wasn't my roommate. We were on a trip, and it was a trip from hell, so everybody knows. But you live and you learn. So I was at Alabama State.
Okay.
And
What's that, ASU?
ASU, Alabama State.
Okay, hashtag Alabama State.
Yes, Alabama State. So we were going to PCB. That was a thing back in the day. So
PCB?
Panama City Beach, yeah.
Okay.
So we went there, and of course I didn't plan it. So it was one of the other girls in my suite that planned it, and it was like 6 of us, and we were just trying to make it to the beach. No car, just vibes.
Okay.
So her cousin came to get us, and the girls on the trip, or just this one girl in particular, like, it was crazy because, like, when we first, we're all like, okay, we're all cool, we can go on the trip. She was in my room, and she was like, can you do my makeup and stuff like that? But once I got on the trip, she was just like, I just never liked you, you're just too bougie. So
for real?
Yeah, so it's just like bougie, and I was like, well, what do you want to do about it? And she started getting up, and then I was like, okay, this is about to happen.
Oh, y'all got good. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got a little spicy. But that was like something that I'm not really proud to talk about, but it's just like, it was a part of me. Like, I had to grow. Like, I had to realize who my friends were and who my friends weren't in school.
So did y'all have y'all spoken since then?
No. I mean, she was a mutual friend of my suite mate. So it was just like, she was cool, but we weren't besties. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, would you rather know every language in the world or understand animals?
For me personally, I think I would rather know every language in the world.
For real?
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Okay, but animals are probably the biggest part of nature. So if you could and I really feel like animals. Mm-hmm. We're mammals.
Right.
So if we're mammals, mm-hmm. we don't understand their language. So we could understand their language. We would probably almost understand every part of the world and the real human nature. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't want, because to know every language in the world.
I feel like that puts you in rooms that you're not used to being in. But knowing what a pet is saying, I don't even like pets. So
really?
Yeah. So
you don't like rabbits? You don't like goldfish? You think goldfish have a language?
I don't know. I like the water, but I don't know about if I like.
So you wouldn't want to know like what whales and sharks and stuff are saying to each other? I think that would be the dopest shit.
I don't want to get that close to a shark.
For real? No, I don't either. I don't even like the saying, so I would never go to the whale. But if I could look at TV and see what a whale or is saying, that would be dope as hell. What, you don't think so?
But I also like to know what people are saying, you know, anywhere I'm at.
I just ask them.
Oh, okay.
Because when they be on the plane and they talking another language to each other, I say, what did you just say to her?
Oh, what?
No, I do. It's something wrong with that.
That's
so they'll probably be lying though.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
They tell me, but it would be nice to know.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah, that would. But on a like natural level, just to know what animals are saying to each other would be. That would be crazy. That would be cool.
that's different.
So, what would you tell like being that you just finished school?
Uh-huh.
When did you finish? In May, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just finished college.
Graduated in May, yes.
And that was that your second degree or the first one?
My second degree.
So you finished your your second degree was a master's?
Doctorate.
Wait. So you went from bachelor's
to a doctorate.
To a doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
So you're Dr.
Angela Staley.
This would be a good part right here to introduce. This is Dr. She's a 27-year-old doctor. Something this 50-year-old will never see. She's Dr. Canada Staley.
Uh-huh.
She's a doctorate of pharmaceutical pharmacy.
Pharmacy. Uh-huh.
And she just graduated in May.
Correct.
With her second degree.
Mm-hmm.
Still working on mine.
That's okay.
Yeah, one day I'll finish.
You on your time.
But you're right. Right now I just be a badass.
Yes.
So, Dr. Canada Staley, she's a 27-year-old student who just finished pharmacy school. She is, I think you've been going through hell these last, because we talked like 2 months ago.
I have.
And you had not even started.
Right. So I had to, of course, you have to become licensed to practice with pharmacy. I had to take my boards, which I passed. I got the pass rate last week. And then I had to also take the law exam. So I definitely have been through a lot with this pharmacy stuff.
So any more tests?
If I pass this one, no.
So what if but you said, I remember you telling me you had to take the pharmacy test for each state. So when you move to another, so let's say you moved, I don't know, to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You would have to take the pharmacy test for Oklahoma, correct?
I would have to take their law portion, yes.
The law portion.
Mm-hmm.
So the laws of each state for pharmacy is different.
Right. So the board, so the NAPLEX is saying this person is competent to practice pharmacy, but I need to know the laws, like if they have certain controlled medicines or just how they practice in general.
Because the cannabis laws
are different everywhere.
Really?
Yes.
So what are they in North Carolina?
So technically, I feel like for experimental purposes, they can be utilized in patients like with pain. We actually do have medications that have a derivative of THC or cannabis that we use in cancer patients to help them obtain their appetite. But other than that, North Carolina does not have a medical use for marijuana.
So I couldn't go to the doctor and get
maybe in Cali, but I'm not familiar with.
But even if I got it in California and I took it here, I would still be illegal, right?
Correct.
That don't help nothing. Look, okay, so I'm gonna get real serious for 1 second. And I'm not always a serious person.
Okay.
So in my purpose and in my quest on, especially with the discovery of this podcast and the way that it was supposed to be, the way I wanted it to go, what I wanted it to do, and my download from the universe, in all of that, I had to ask, like, why me? Mm-hmm. So, and I say that because a couple years ago, I watched this video from KRS-One. And I remember him saying, was about 3 years. It's been a long time ago since it was about 3 years ago because it was during the pandemic. But anyway, I remember him saying that he would never want, the job of a revolutionary is like really hard. And it's something that nobody should be jealous of. So in my download and in my meditations, I always ask, and I still do, I pray to God, I ask Allah, like, why me?
Right.
And it's not like, whoa, God, why me? But it's more like, it's a soul searching thing to ask yourself, like, why me? So I'll ask myself, like, why me? And it's why me because I know how to talk to people.
Right.
It's why me because I have a personality that draws. Like, it has made me answer those questions as well as know the answer is from God.
Right.
So I ask you, why me?
Why me? So I guess that I got into pharmacy more so for older patients. I feel like younger patients, we typically don't have as many medications to be more so looked after. But I look at my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother just got put on hospice, so more so like with patients that need help of understanding what they're taking or how it interacts with other drugs, you definitely want to be sorry if my voice is cracking, but
I get it.
You definitely want to be that blessing in somebody's life. Like, I didn't know I could take this, or this might make me throw up, or this might make me have diarrhea, or just anything. Side effects are infinite, but just to be able to talk to somebody and they feel comfortable asking me, because I'm the middleman between. When you call your doctor's office, you're not calling your doctor directly. You're calling the secretary, but somebody walking up to me in the pharmacy, I'm like, okay, I can answer your questions, or I can either tell you it's outside my scope that you might need to get checked out from your primary doctor, but I just feel like I'm beneficial in that aspect.
Now, have you been guiding your grandmother along the way so far?
You know what? I think that they were more so trying to keep me back from it because I was finishing my studies. So,
okay.
She's definitely been praying for me, but I've been praying for her, and we don't keep it at that.
I think one thing about grandparents, and it's weird because I'm a grandparent, and then I have my times 3. Like, I have my third grandchild is on the way, so I think it's weird how, not weird, but how grandparents, like, grandparents live for the legacy.
Right.
Like, I live for this is not for me. You know, this is because I have 2 little granddaughters that I know that I need to grow, that are going to grow up.
Right.
And one day I'm not going to be there, but I need them to be able to see that, you know, they don't have to be an Instagram hoe.
Right.
Or, you know, they don't have to sell their ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to see young, black, prosperous women being young, black, prosperous women. And they don't have to resort to any, you know what I'm saying? Anything that's, I don't want to say, not abnormal, but anything that does not show respect for themselves.
Does not suit them.
Right.
Right.
So, you know, and you almost shed tears, and you didn't, but you held back. But you gotta understand, I think it's important. I think, like, my generation, my niche of followers, like, that's what we live for. I don't want my grandbabies to cry. I want them to see, like, okay, this is what my grandmama did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I live for them to carry the torch for that. So, yeah, so it's okay to shed tears, but you gotta also know that grandma is like, yes! And when I'm up out of here, I'm up out of here. Y'all can have it. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think the biggest thing for me graduating was she told me, she was like, I'm living to see you walk the stage.
Aww. You know what? And that's all I'm telling you. Yeah. And I'm not trying to not sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to make you feel better, but like, That's what grandparents do. That's what we do. Like, I want to live to see my oldest granddaughter. Now he's getting ready to be a boy. He's going to be young. And I already counting up the years. Like, okay, my granddaughter, she's going to be 8. And I'm like, I got 10 more years. I'll be 60. And she'll be graduating. Like, we do that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so I made a big change in my life, like, last month. And it was something necessary, and I don't really want to put like my health or my personal stuff out.
Right.
But it was a change because I was like, I gotta live at least 30 more years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For my grandkids.
Right.
And not only that, but it's like I want to get that done. I gotta make sure my finances are set up. I gotta make sure everything is set up for them. So you gotta understand that, you know, our grandparents, they lived.
They did. And just to see like their children and their grandchildren gaining education.
Yep. During the times that they did. Yep.
Staying out the streets, staying out of drugs, just excelling.
Yes.
You know?
That's what it's about. You could control your dreams, right? If you could control your dreams, and if you could actually make that dream come true, what would it be?
I set goals for myself, but I really think that I have a dream which I probably shouldn't disclose on a podcast.
Why not?
Because it should be sacred, or it should be between you and whatever you plan on doing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That is true. You're not, so they say you.
Yeah. So, it's just like, I set goals for myself, and I've kind of checked off most of my goals.
Okay.
So it's just this one thing that I'm gunning for. So.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it.
And it's best not, and you don't want to disclose that.
Right.
That makes sense because it's,
right.
The sad thing about people is it's like once they have a little insight on you.
Yeah.
They will once they have an insight on you,
people can prey on your downfall.
Yeah, people prey on your downfall.
For sure.
For sure.
But for this, I just think that that's just what it has to be.
Okay.
That makes sense.
If you could change, and we talked about 2 months ago, and you disclosed something then. You don't have to if you don't want to. But if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
The biggest thing that I have a problem with is probably like internal or external.
It doesn't matter. One thing. Let the one thing be.
Because I feel like my external is shallow. Like that's the shallow things I want to change.
Okay. So you would change something internally?
Internally, I feel like everybody can work on themselves.
True.
But externally, I feel like that's probably why I talk low. That's probably why my confidence lacks. So.
Really?
Yeah.
So door open. Would you change something externally?
Yeah, my weight. I know. Ooh.
Did you say I learned that?
Yeah, it's
okay, anyway. He went away. So you would change, but now it's funny because we talked, what was that, 2 months ago, and literally, I think it was maybe 3. When did Jackie O pass?
Ooh.
What's that?
It was probably like a month or 2 ago.
So when we initially spoke, she hadn't passed, has she?
Probably not. I feel like when you asked me to do the podcast, I think that she hadn't passed. No.
Right, she hadn't. So it's funny that you still say that on the back end of, and rest in paradise, Jackie O.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird that you still say that on, and even though she was just getting like a mommy makeover.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that entails, but I'm pretty sure it does some enhancements.
Absolutely.
Somewhere.
I think mommy makeovers, you get your boobs done, your stomach, maybe your butt. But for me, it's more so I lack discipline in that one area of my life. Like studying all those nights, I'll be up munching and crunching. So it's like I really just have to gain discipline, like in order to work on that one goal. And then once I hit that one goal, for me, I feel like I'm gonna be unstoppable.
So how are you working towards it, or are you working towards it, or is it even a thing? Does it matter right now?
So I graduated and my cousin's a personal trainer, so
Oh, that's
I was
good.
paying to go, but then I was like, this Netflix was like daunting me. And I was like, I gotta work. I gotta make my money to pay my bills. I don't have time to also pay him and work out when I really need to be studying this 1,000-page book so I can pass my boards. So I just had to put that on hold, and I feel like that's been my biggest thing. I've just been putting myself on my back burner. Like, I've been focusing on my brain and not my health.
All right, so do you plan on doing another degree?
Absolutely not.
I don't blame you.
I think the only thing that I would do if it was educational would be to learn another language. Like, I have customers or patients that come up to me speaking in Spanish, and I'm like, I can understand a little bit, but I can't help you. I have to call somebody that can speak Spanish, and it's like I want to be able to create that rapport with that customer or that patient.
So they say it takes 30 days. Is it 30? Yeah, it takes 30 days to create a habit. Mm-hmm. Is it 30 days?
I thought it was 21. 21 to break a bad habit. I don't know.
It may be 21 to break a bad habit, but to create a habit,
30.
I think it takes 30.
And I can see that, because once you do something consistently for a month, you got it.
True.
Yeah.
So if you could start tomorrow, what would you do?
I would probably throw out all those ho-hos and pies in my house.
Okay, but see, I believe in moderation.
Absolutely.
So I believe you can have a ho-ho. You just can't have 3 ho-hos every single day and every single night. Like, if you want one ho-ho a day, it's like people that drink soda. So I don't drink soda. Now, I will indulge in some wine.
Yeah.
But I don't drink soda. I gotta drink tons of water. But if I drink one soda, and not even it be diet soda, so I may say I might drink one soda a week. Now, mind you, I haven't had one this week.
Right. And that's why
I did have some iced tea. But I don't remember having a soda last week. Like, I rarely ever drink sodas. But I think it's all in moderation. So there are people that live like that, like vegans. They don't eat. They don't do anything. So it is like you can do it.
Right.
But everybody is not on the level. Mm-hmm. Now, can you get there? Yes. So I don't think it's logical for you to just throw out. Unless that's just what you wanted to do.
Right.
So what is the one thing that you, without, minus that, like, let's say mentally, what's the one thing that you would start tomorrow?
One thing I would start tomorrow. I think getting into my Bible.
Really?
Yeah. I think that over time I've become more into my spirituality, but I just think that I could be closer to God for sure.
Okay, so
yeah.
Do you pray?
I do, and I feel like these past few months I've been praying more than I used to, which I don't think is great because I wanted something from God. I wanted to pass. I wanted to be done with school, so I just feel like you shouldn't pray just when you want to ask God for something.
But that's really deep because that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And I've done it plenty of times.
Right.
But I will say, I don't attend church.
Right.
And I don't believe in going to. I'm not gonna say. I was raised in church. My father was a minister.
Oh, I didn't know
So going to church was if I didn't go to church on Sundays, then I wasn't allowed to go anywhere that day or the rest of the week. Like, don't even ask, because I'm not going anywhere because I ain't go to church Sunday. And I could not wait to get grown.
I was about to say, did you get that stereotype of my parent is a minister, and I'm gonna go crazy when I go to college.
I cannot wait to get grown, so I can be like, man, it'd be Sunday mornings, and I'll be like, I ain't going to church.
Oh.
But I'm not like that now. I'm just I'm just at a place where church has become more inside of me than me going inside of it. You know what I'm saying? So I have more of a relationship now than I have ever in my life had with a higher being.
Right.
So,
and I feel like times have changed. I mean, why do we have to go into a building to receive God or to feel a connection with God? I could be in my bedroom, in the shower, praying, and just feeling the Holy Spirit or whoever He prays just pouring into me. So. And
I never knew what God's voice. I never heard God's voice before until maybe the last 8 or 9 years of my life, and I was in my 40s. So I definitely, and as far as like tithing or whatever is concerned, I tithe outside. Like I don't pay tithes to a church, but I give a lot. I give a lot to businesses I know getting started, people, and I do it anonymously, and I tell them, do not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're sowing your seeds into what you want to believe or believe in or who you want to sow your seeds into.
I don't want a Facebook post. I don't want any, do not.
Being a blessing to others.
Yes, and that's what it's all about. So I guess if that's tithing, or if it could be tithing, that's what I'd rather, that's what I'd rather do. That's how I'd rather be.
I'm not mad at that.
All right. So how is it, I know your grandmom is a big part of your life. I know a lot about your family, so I know how the elders, I know the elders. The elders are like that in my family. Everybody, we respect our elders.
Absolutely.
But who else besides your mom, besides your grandmom, anyone that I could say that's quote unquote, I don't want to say typical, besides your parents or your, who else has really influenced and inspired you?
I feel like I have so many strong family members. It's kind of, I'm not going to say like a slap in the face and not say them, because I feel like that's who has inspired me.
Well, I tell you what, don't even say a family member. Who outside? Because we have a lot of family that inspire us. So who outside of your family could you say that, oh my God, I really like how they get down. I like them.
Ooh. That's a tricky question.
Really?
That's a tricky question. Because I feel like, if you know my family, you know that we get together on weekends. We just create a vibe.
Right.
All of my cousins have been in school. We all just uplift each other, and I feel like for me to say that it's not a family member, I don't know. I have people that I might look up to for sure. I have a cousin that's a pharmacist, and she's really doing her thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And not to say, we weren't as close, growing up, but she definitely has helped me throughout school. But my mom is my hero.
Okay.
She raised me, not by herself, but blood-wise, that's my that's my girl.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I was trying to think of who, so I grew up, I was absolutely in love with KRS.
I don't even know who that is.
I ain't even Catholic. I made the cross. Yeah, but KRS-One is he's an old school, he's an originator of hip hop.
Okay.
When you can just Google him, but it is weird because he's a male, but he's so intelligent and enlightening, and he just gives you jewels. He gives you a different perspective, another way of thinking. So he's not like who I look up to, but he's one person in my life. Yes, he's very inspirational. Like, I love to hear what he has to say because I like to, because he takes me outside of the box. So I'm thinking. So I was wondering if you were going to say someone like a celebrity or really.
I have not had a lot of time to, I guess, lock in with somebody I like listening to or somebody I like to just watch and see. So it's really like I just been in my books and around family. So
Okay. So this is another question that I want to ask you, and I've been asking myself, and it's a very hard question to answer, and it's a hard question to know.
Okay.
I've been asking myself this question probably for it hasn't been a year, but I ask myself this question every single chance that I get, and that question is, do you know your worth?
Do I know my worth? I feel like I do. I feel like to know that you're the catch. I feel like I just feel like I've done everything in my life to not need anybody else. So,
Okay.
And not to say that I won't ever need anybody else, but I just feel like I'm worthy of having somebody or people that surround me on the same level as me.
Okay. So if you know your worth, what is it? Here's a caveat.
Okay.
Your worth does not include studying.
Okay.
It does not include your degree.
Okay.
It does not include who you are to your parents, to your family. It doesn't include your bank account. It doesn't include what you drive, what you live in. It's solely you and this. So if you walked into a room and you had to sell yourself with minus all of that, if you had to sell yourself, just you, what would you sell? It's a question that at 50, I'm still trying to figure out.
Right. And it's kind of hard because I keep telling, like, me and my friends discuss this, like, we don't know who we are outside of school. So,
Yeah.
So when I walk into a different pharmacy, I've floated or I've worked yesterday I worked in Durham. Those people don't know me from a can of paint.
Right.
But for a pharmacist to tell me, you're going to be a good pharmacist because you care about people, I know my worth. Like, I'm not the pharmacist just verifying just to get my paycheck.
Right.
I'm personable. I try to be nice until somebody really takes me there. Like,
Okay.
I've had customers that really took me there, but you know, you just try to, who am I? Why am I here? And you have to evaluate yourself. Like, I know there's tons of things I can work on. There's tons of things I can work on in my relationship. There's tons of things I can work on in my career. Personal relationships with friends, because I do think that I have a very short fuse of what I will not tolerate. So
I don't think that's a short fuse. That's just a standard. That's just a boundary that you're not allowing anybody to cross. That's what you're supposed to have.
But see, some people extend a little bit more grace, and I think that sometimes you do have to be graceful.
You could be graceful, but so define grace for yourself in that context.
Aspect. So, grace is I'm gonna say giving people a chance. Everybody's not gonna get it right the first time.
So you extend grace.
If you were to befriend somebody and you liked her vibe at first, and then she does one thing that just, I can't mess with her, I can't go for her. Extend grace. Maybe ask why she acts like that or why she holds herself a certain way, and see if you, I'm not gonna say change somebody, but can we meet eye to eye on how I look or perceive things? Does that make sense?
That makes sense. But at what point
is it too much? Too much grace.
Yeah. At what point is it too much grace?
When it's changing you as a person, or you feel like I have to be not myself, I gotta leave you alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you're extending grace, you've extended grace, and this person, I don't know, steps out of line again. Do you keep extending the grace, or how, or when, or do you cut it off?
I think everything is circumstantial. It depends on what they did that I need to extend the grace for. Because some stuff is unforgivable, or I'm not gonna say unforgivable, because some people might look at things differently, but some things you just know that you just can't rock with.
So I've been at a place where, it's not about extending. Okay, so let me tell you how I am. I'm not gonna say I don't extend grace. I just keep letting people be people, and I'm just standing back and I'm observing.
Right.
And after you get to a point where, you've shown me who you are, and if I don't like it, I sever it. Like, I'm not extending, because the grace is me just letting you be you. Right.
Yeah.
So be you. But then when I don't like that, and I'm still like observing it, and when I decide to cut it off, I decide to cut it off.
But do you tell them it's something about you that I dislike? Because maybe it's something that can be changed, or if it's just how they act as a person, and you just like, I can't rock with you.
Some people, if they can change it for me, then they can change it for themselves. So don't change it for me.
Change it for you.
You have to change it for you. So if you haven't noticed that you need to change for yourself, then for you to change for me is something totally superficial. And it's okay. If you want to be like that, that's okay. Be like that. I'm just not. I don't have to deal with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people, I say that because there are people that I know that have drugged me behind my back. You know what I'm saying? Or talked about me. And it's just like, okay. But then when I decide to cut you off and you're like, well, why are you being... I don't have to explain to you why. You know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. It's not... That doesn't make... It doesn't make sense for me to tell you what you did. Because you know what you did. So, I think for me, that's how I extend grace. Yeah. That's the only way I know how to extend grace.
I think that's real.
And I'm pretty sure, I'm positive people have seen me or have observed me and don't, they probably don't like how I move, and that's fine. And because I have severed people have severed relationships with me the same way I've severed relationships with people, and I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like what they say, if they want to walk, let them walk. Or what do you, it's a saying about it. If they can walk away, let them walk. If they choose to come back to you, then it's meant to be, or something like that. But that's that. What is it you would want what is it? Oh, I asked you that. Didn't I ask you what is it that you would want everybody to know about you?
Yeah. Have you asked me that?
No.
That was the first question.
Okay.
Like if my mom, something my mom didn't know, which she knows, but.
and you still wouldn't disclose that. I don't blame you. Ah! Okay. Let me see what else I had on my list. Oh, what? So you finished at 27. You have a terminal degree. So what's next? Right.
What's next? I think as a woman, well, I'm not gonna say all women, but you do want, like, I feel like as the closer I get to my 30s, I want to start a family. I want to get married. I feel like sometimes people don't desire to get married anymore because I'm not gonna say my mom's generation or whoever, but they're like more so live your life because marriage is it's
final.
Yeah, and it's paperwork at the end of the day. Like the wedding is a party and the marriage is paperwork, but you can find love and be with one without paperwork. But
the marriage ceremony is a party.
Yes.
The marriage, I think, is something way deeper.
Yes.
That you have to be mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally. Like, I've never been married.
Okay.
And I mean, one day I want to be married, but yeah, I'm not. Even at 50, it's like, I'm not even rushing.
Right.
If you had a business, what businesses do you see that if you could start, you would pattern it? Like, what's a business that you see right now? Even if it's a small business, even if it's something like someone just started, like, what would you, who would you pattern your business acumen from after?
I don't think I would want to sell anything, but I do like, I don't know if you can say stuff like this on a podcast, but like how the Boys and Girls Club thing, bring in children from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I feel like I can always sew into younger people. I was a mentor at Alabama State, and I had four girls. I'm not gonna call them little girls, but for me, they were like my babies. Like they were in a bridge program, which meant that they didn't have the basic grades to come to come to school, but they were there to obtain grades before they started in the fall.
Okay.
So I'm still very close with one girl in particular, and I just kind of have been watching her. Like, she has been in school, been out of school, but she has a beautiful voice.
Okay.
And to tell her that school's not for everybody, it's not.
Right.
But it's like she has a voice that could take her to infinite possibilities.
Right.
Or, so it's just like, I think that sewing into people and letting them choose their own paths and just being that person, like, maybe there is a little girl that wants to be a doctor when they grow up.
Right. The Boys and Girls, that's a really good organization.
Absolutely.
They are they're not for profit. Is that correct?
I don't think so, because I think that they're mostly in low socioeconomic areas to help keep kids after school if parents can't get them after school, or they don't want them to stay at home and they have activities to do. I never was in Boys and Girls Club, but I always thought that it was really cool to do for kids.
Is that something you want to start?
I think that
not work with them, but something.
I think that's something definitely that I would sew into.
Okay.
Because I feel like me, I do like to be more behind the scenes. Like, my boyfriend, he is more so, I want to be the head honcho, I want to be the entrepreneur. I'm more so, I want to go to work and come home and my business. I don't want the stress of a business. Like,
entrepreneurship is
it's not for me.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for me.
It's really.
I clap for everybody who is for it, because it's like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to have that mindset of, you might fail, but when I do succeed, I'm gonna be the shit. Like,
exactly.
So, yeah.
What would you like? What would you tell? What would you tell my viewers at their 27-year-old self?
Ooh, I'm still learning my 27-year-old self.
I mean, I think one thing about, I think when you become like seasoned in your 50s, I feel like whatever you are suffering from in your 50s, not suffering, excuse me, I don't like that, that's a bad word. Or whatever you have not healed from in your 50s, it probably stemmed from something from your teens, and it went on in your 20s, and then your 30s, and then by the time it's in your 50s, it may have started as a small little pin puncture or dent back then, but now it's a full-fledged open wound that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think, I don't know what I read, but I read something, it was recent, maybe in the last couple of months or so, that you really, whatever you're healing from now, it's like it was going on earlier. And the wound just progressed.
I think for my 27-year-old self or anybody under me, I think comparison is a thief of joy. Social media, we love it. We love to watch TikToks. We love to watch Instagram and what people are doing. Or people always are going to show their success. They're not going to show how they were struggling, or I could compare myself to, oh my gosh, they're always on trips and I'm still in school, and it's a thief of joy. Like, you literally, I'm going to be on those trips next year once my money's saved. Or, so it's just like, you really just cannot compare yourself to anybody, because people might be looking at me like, dang, she's a doctor at 27, but you might have a different path. So
yeah. That's true, because I do. I looked at it like, Dad, what was I? 27 years old. I'm not quite sure what I was doing, but I know I was not studying. Right? Like, I was trying to think. So my son was born in 95. Yeah. I wasn't studying. At 27, I was raising him.
Yeah.
27, 29. Yeah, I think he was about 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom, I'm 96. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's one thing that I really loved about you, and that was so inspiring, that I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're what I should have been doing at 27. You know what I'm saying? But I know that everybody's path, everybody's path is different, and I think I had intended to ask you, like, how did you know back then? Like, so for example, I became a licensed bartender back in 2000. And from then to what I'm doing right now, I literally, I have a pretty good resume. And you know, at the end of the resume, it's like you put like other certifications or whatever. So that lady literally hired me when she read that, oh, you're a licensed bartender. I'll never forget that. She said, oh, you're a licensed bartender. Now, mind you, I have a computer science degree. And she said, oh, you're a licensed bartender. And I was like, yeah. She said, oh, that's fabulous. That's what we need. And I'm like, okay. So throughout that whole 35, 40-minute interview, I feel like she really hired me on because of that. And had I not gotten that certification way 23, 25 years ago, I don't know if that would have made a difference like right now. So in hindsight, I look back and I'd be like, oh, that's why God had me going to bartending school. Oh, that's why he had me working at the funeral home, because I needed to learn how to work with people in distress. Or that's why he had me teaching, because I had to eventually learn how to work with kids. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so in hindsight, when you being a pharmacist now, did you look back on things and be like, oh, that's why?
So I've always been a very ordered person. Like, I kind of get jealous of people who can do stuff off whim. Like,
really?
I'm gonna wake up and just do something different today. But I literally had a career, like a class. I think I was in my speech and debate class in high school, and we had to make a poster about what we were gonna be when we grew up. And I was just like, Lord, I just know that I want to have a good lifestyle. Like, I know I want to be in healthcare, but I know that I can't look at people's bodies. I can't be in people's mouth. I can't be an OB. I was like, so it's gonna have to be drugs. Like, I'm gonna have to do something with medicine. So I've just been very I set myself on a path, and I'm gunning for it. So I still have that poster in Charlotte. Like,
really,
it says, my career would be pharmacy, and then what I can do with pharmacy, I can work with pharmaceutical companies. I can be a clinical pharmacist. So it's more so, I'm very straight and narrow. Like, when I say I'm gonna do something, I kind of go after it.
And see, that's why you are where you are, because I'm the exact opposite. I'm such a...
But I'm jealous of people like that, because I feel like sometimes I'm just safe. Like, I want to be... If you want to jump off a cliff and we skydive, then that's fun. But I'm like, you gotta be playing. Like, let's find...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my! I don't know how to plan. As one of the people that's filming right now, I can't plan.
But
I try. Don't I try? I try. I really what it took for me to get. So I told my job, I said I need Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. when I got my schedule and they literally only gave me Friday off, I was like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? How am I? But I had it planned.
You made a way.
Yesterday, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get off work. I got off work at 10:30. I should have been pulling in my driveway no later than 10 at p.m. So let's say I couldn't get on a couple flights. So I still should have been home last night at 10. I made it home at 10, all right, 10 this morning. But I will say it helps you adjust to, know how to do things on a whim. Yeah. Like if I lived the way we wouldn't even be here because nothing worked according to the plan. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, even the time that I got here, I had 3 hours to get everything done that I needed to get done in order to pull this off versus my planning. So from last night, I would have been straight. So I think that is a gift that's giving it structure. And spontaneity is a gift that the person has to accept. You know what I'm saying? So I'm jealous of the structure. Because if I had the structure, oh my goodness.
But see, I have structure in certain aspects of my life. Like, it's like certain things that I just can't get right. And it kills me. Like the weight thing. If I had structure, like how I had structure with my books, I would have the body that I want to pay for, maybe. Like, not that I want to buy my body, because I've seen where stuff goes wrong, but it's more so like if I had the structure and the discipline to do what I've said that I'm going to do for years, because this is something I struggled with for years. And I said, okay, I'm going to apply to pharmacy school. I'm actually going to put all my eggs in one basket and apply to one pharmacy school. Got in. I'm going to obtain a 3.5 by the time I graduate. Got it. I'm going to obtain a contract to make sure that I have a job before I get out of school. Got it. But it's just like, you can never account for the unknown. So some stuff is just like, I have to be more relaxed and go with the flow. But I think for me, I'm not. So it's hard.
I think you can do it. Especially, I mean, I struggle with weight. Everybody knows. I'm not even, it's not no big thing for me.
But for some people, it doesn't, like, you're still confident. Like, I can hear how you talk and you're confident. Like, for me, it's like, I'm a turtle. Like, I'm in a shell because I don't have that confidence. I don't do that confidence. You really do have the confidence. Just because my mother is extreme. My mother would be talking. I'd be like, Mom, can you, what? Mom, speak up. My mother is very low tone. She talks very soft. But my mother is still, confidence isn't, I'm naturally loud. My dad is, Lord, my dad was very, very loud man. So I think a lot of that is just by nature. You know what I'm saying? Some of it is by nature, but I think also it's a thing that grows with you. Like you just, as you grow, you'll begin to not only get your voice in volume, but you'll get your voice. But do you feel like somebody could say, I have a event I need you to speak at tomorrow. Do you think you could go in front of that crowd and just speak and you could pull all of your thoughts together? Me, I would freeze like a turtle. Like I would just be like, I don't have it for you. Like I have to be prepared. I have to prepare something. You cannot ask me to speak. Really? Yeah. And a lot of it is just for me, it's just being unapologetically who you are. Period. Like it, my thoughts are really never like I always say I talk scatterbrain because I think creatives do that. Like I'll be talking about one thing and I do it on the phone with a couple of my friends all the time. We'll be talking about one thing and I'll go all the way to something else. Like how did my brain get over here? And then I have to bring it. Oh shoot, we was talking about. So I got to bring it back and then it'll go somewhere else. So I know people who speak in like fluid sentences and everything, lines up and it's one complete thought. And for me, it's not. It's like I gotta get that sentence from there and I need to get this sentence from 3 paragraphs down because that goes up here. You know what I'm saying? So, but I accept that for who I am. And
it's easy for me because that's how I know I am.
Right.
And it has to be the same. And I'm telling you, don't just understand who you are and just go with that. And if you freeze in front of people, so what? You can say, for me, I'd be like, look, I'm frozen. I don't know what to say, but they asked me to come up here and speak, so I'm gonna speak. So y'all just hold on and let me get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's how that's me. But you find your own way of, it's actually finding your voice.
Finding my voice. They probably can't hear me, but I'm gonna find my voice.
And look, guys, this is a good place for us to end up right now. I really appreciate you all, everybody tuning in. Come to me on Facebook, as She's a Badazz Facebook page. How can do you have social media?
I do. So my Facebook page is my name, Angela Staley. I do have Instagram, it's Alluring Can. But yeah, not really on a big social media platform like Miss Tasha.
I'm having a rollout of my my official webpage, she'sabadass.com soon. Thinking that's I'm gonna make that around October-ish. It may come before then, but anyway, I'll keep you posted on that. Thank you for tuning in. This is Dr. Dr. Canada. Period, poo.
Period.
Dr. Canada Staley.
Thank you.